Well, I'm Angie Borges with Houses in San Antonio, and this is Stone Saathoff. How do you pronounce your last name?
Stone Saathoff.
Saathoff.
Yep.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I didn't know how to pronounce it. I'm like Saathoff, or, I go German immediately.
Right.
Anyway, he's with Riverwalk Buyers.
Riverwalk Home Buyers, but I really just
Home Buyers.
Self-employed real estate investor.
And young guy extraordinaire and available.
Not anymore, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
And no longer available. He's been snagged up by a very, very smart girl.
That's funny.
What's her name?
Alyssa.
Alyssa.
Yeah.
All right, all right.
She's actually a realtor as well.
Yeah, with?
Kelly. It's a team on Keller Williams.
Okay.
But she lives in Austin.
Great. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yay. All right, well, tell us about yourself, Stone.
Well, that's awfully open-ended.
Tell us all about you.
I'm going to assume this is real estate related. So,
yes.
I started out in real estate at the end of 2019 working for New Western, which is a large wholesale company, if you haven't heard of them. Did that for a little over a year, and then started doing some of my own direct-to-seller marketing, flipped a couple houses, wholesaled a few houses, and now I'm getting into long-term rentals and short-term rentals as well. So primarily a flipper, a little bit of a wholesaler, and now I do some landlord stuff as well.
Well, you and I have been meeting for a few years now, right? And different investor meetings and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And I've kind of watched you grow and basically kick ass.
Oh, thank you.
I love to watch your videos in the morning. I love how you
roasted bad agents and
yes,
stuff.
you roast bad agents, and it's all good
issues.
because I get it, And so I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm very, very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
So are you a native San Antonian?
Nope, I am originally from Houston. I've been here for about 6 years now.
What brought you here?
Culinary school.
You're a chef. You can cook?
I'm a washed up chef, but I did get a degree for that. Yeah.
Go, Alyssa. All right, so what sets you apart from your competition?
What's what?
What sets you apart from your competition?
I would say, like, in terms of being an investor? Or...
Yeah, if you came to me and I had 3 others that came to me, why would I choose Stone over the others?
Yeah, so there's a couple different capacities we could talk about that in. As an investor, I would say I stand out because I'm always looking for ways to optimize each part of the process. Like, instead of borrowing from hard money, I have private money lenders now, I get a better rate. I go through the same title company, they give me a better rate. I'm the general contractor on my own jobs. I keep people employed consistently, so I get better rates on construction. I'm licensed, so when we list flips or list rentals, I don't have to pay a commission except to the buyer's agent. So I'd say as an investor, I've found the way to trim down the fat on every part of the process.
Good deal.
As far as like being a wholesaler or being a buyer direct to seller, we have a lot of positive reviews online. I have a better business bureau accreditation, so we just come off as being more credible with sellers than some people who are maybe just.
And I've seen that you've been very, very proactive about your reviews and your SEO.
Right.
The other day I was downloading, or I was opening something up on my zip extractor on my Google Drive.
I saw you got a Google retargeting.
And I had, you know what it was though? So it was genius because up on the top it said, Riverwalk Home Buyers, blah, blah, blah. And then it said open.
Right. Call to action.
It was a call to action, but I thought it was like open my file. So I clicked open.
Oh, okay. That's Google. That's not me.
And I was like, I love him.
Right. That's cool.
I'm like, how do I do that? How do I do that? How do I do that now?
Yeah, those are a pain to set up.
Are they? You
Yeah.
should help me set up Busy Spaces.
Okay.
Will you?
Well, I don't know what that is.
The co-work space.
Okay. Yeah.
I've launched the site. Now I just need to figure out how to get it to follow everybody.
Yeah.
and stalk them,
Yep.
like you start stalking me now.
Yeah, I bumped up the spending on the Google ads so they'll just hit people constantly.
Yeah, is that what you're doing?
Yep. There's money is a factor for sure.
Okay, well, I think I got it. Then
Okay.
tomorrow I got that meeting tomorrow. Okay. So what's been your best and the worst lesson you've learned doing this?
Worst lesson. Actually, let me start with the best. So I would say, as far as being a flipper, some of the best lessons I've learned would be to go after newer, nicer houses more than you would think. There's a surprising amount of people out there that are willing to take below retail value for a place that really doesn't need that much work. Those are quick projects and they make a lot of money. There's a mastermind group I'm in that taught us that, and most wholesalers here are just looking for really crazy screwed up houses, and there's a lot of people that are looking to sell that their house really isn't that screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been a good lesson. As far as a negative, I'd say my biggest lesson I learned last year was a condo I flipped that I only ended up making a couple grand on. That was like a 1 month project, total nightmare. Read HOA docs before you buy. I didn't realize there was like a bunch of owners in my building getting sued, and that makes it a real pain to sell. So be sure to read stuff before you sign it and read documentation. Make sure you're doing your due diligence appropriately before you're on the hook for something.
You'd be surprised at how many people will get their resale certificates and not read their resale certificates.
I used to be that guy until last year.
Oh gosh, that had to be a horrible.
Still, I mean, I didn't lose money, but if you factor in the time, I really didn't make any. So
Yeah, it was a long lesson to learn. Okay.
Yeah.
Are your leads increasing or decreasing?
Number of leads,
Yeah.
well, that's increasing because I'm continuously spending more on marketing. As money comes in, I'll spend more on marketing. I've got something like 30,000 pieces of mail going out between this month and next month. Some of that's letters.
So is
postcards.
that mostly your marketing strategy? A lot of mail outs and subsequent, I don't know, SEO type of stuff?
These days, yeah, because those people will either call in or visit my website. And now if they visit my website, we have Facebook and Google ads that'll follow them around for a month or two. So it just helps us capture all that money we've spent on the mail more.
Okay, wonderful.
But I do focus on mail a lot these days.
So mail.
For me, because I'm a one-man band, so I get real specific in the letter about what it is we do. People will read through and say, oh, that applies to me, and then they'll reach out, rather than, we do some text as well, but those leads are not as high, typically.
I get your green envelopes all the time.
Yep. And green is a friendly color, that's why I use green.
It's green. Who doesn't like green?
Red.
I open it up all the time.
Red, yellow is like, ooh, caution, threatening.
Exactly. Green is, there's money in that envelope. Let's open it up.
Yep.
Yep.
Maybe 75% of, but hey, it's money.
Absolutely. Hey, so what is the greatest technology disruptor that you've come across?
The CRM I use, I would say it's called RE Simply, but that's been a total game changer. I can build follow-up campaigns in there. So let's say somebody calls me and they aren't ready for me to come out to their house yet. I have a whole sequence of like 24 texts over weeks, voicemails, stuff like that just keeps following up. And it'll almost automatically get them to reach back out at some point and say, hey, I'm ready for you to come out.
That's fantastic.
We have those for appointments. We have those on stuff we've already offered on, all sorts of stuff. So it'll just keep following up for me.
And has that helped you eliminate a need for administrative help?
It's trimmed down the need for administrative help a lot.
And have you grown a little bit more? Have you gotten more administrative help for that? I mean, 30,000 pieces of mail in 2 months is a lot of work. Do you have a service that does that for you, or?
I have a service that sends the mail, but right now I'm still building the lists. I have an answering service that takes the inbound calls. That's been huge. They're specifically for real estate investors, so they know all the questions to ask. And then I have a VA that runs my text campaigns for me. So I really work all of the warm leads, but I have systems to help me work the not yet warm leads.
That's fantastic. So that your time is better spent.
Qualified.
Yeah,
Right.
qualifying. And given our current political state, what is your greatest fear and challenge?
Right now, I mean, national politics don't have a huge effect on our local real estate market. I really don't think.
Okay.
You know, we have a war going on right now. That's affected the stock market a bit. Hasn't really affected our real estate here locally that I've seen. So I don't really have any fears relating to politics and what I do right now.
Okay.
Obviously, the costs of business going up a little bit, fuel and labor and materials and whatnot has an effect, but we price that in from the beginning, so.
If you do the math right from the beginning, it'll work, right?
Right, I mean, we're buying properties based on the numbers, so just include those inflated costs
Make
in
sure
the
that
numbers.
your numbers are right. All right, so let's talk about ethics in your industry.
Right.
There's been a lot of controversy over, is wholesaling an ethical practice or is it not?
I think the part where it gets unethical is when you're not being honest with people. Like if you're not really able to close something, or you haven't done a deal yet or something like that, and you lock up a house for more than what you can sell it for, and you end up having to come back and pull out on the seller at the last hour or ask for a 30 grand price drop. I think those types of situations are a little bit of an ethics issue. But as far as you making a deal with a seller, they accept, they're happy with that price, and you're able to find a buyer for more as an investor, as long as the seller accepted that, I mean, there's nothing really wrong with that. They were happy with it. You were able to find a buyer for more. Mm-hmm. It's a business. You know? I don't think that's an ethics issue at all.
It isn't. I mean, a long time ago, what wholesalers are doing now, real estate agents were able to do.
Right, it's called a net listing.
It was called a net listing. However, a long time ago, the net listings went away because they said if you're a fiduciary,
right,
and if you're protecting people's best interests, a net listing is not the way to go.
That I can understand, because you're supposed to represent somebody. And that was also a time before we had the internet and people could really just go look and get some idea what their property is worth.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So what is the greatest need most wholesalers encounter within their company?
The greatest need they encounter? Leadership, guidance, as far as how to negotiate, what kind of questions to ask people to really qualify them, lead generation, prospecting. Just like having somebody to ask questions, like, hey, do I need to include an option period in my contract? How do I sell this? What kind of buyer is good for this? I mean, there's so many questions that come up, you know, having somebody to ask.
How do I structure this one? You know, what's the win-win? You
Right.
know, as a real estate agent, we're always looking for a win-win. How, you know, that's always a...
You get into stuff where there's tenants living there, the seller needs a lease back, or there's so many questions that can come up.
What you know, you can do a subject to on one, but maybe you can do a wrap for another, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
What is the greatest opportunity most wholesalers encounter on the daily?
Greatest opportunity we encounter? I mean, besides the obvious?
Besides the obvious
The obvious is, you know, we come across properties that can potentially be bought and sold at a discount. That's our greatest opportunity.
And when so this was something that I was discussing with Hernando, right? So, because there's a lot of wholesalers that will not align themselves with a real estate agent and then forget that they have that opportunity there as well.
Right.
You know, so
For referrals.
that through the referrals, and as a real estate agent, that's one thing that I've learned, or real estate, you know, I've learned throughout the history of my career, that everything can be referred. You know, insurance, inspections, you know, surveys. You know, you create good relationships by referring stuff out and opportunities. You know. So, you know, every encounter with somebody to me is an opportunity.
Building your network. Yeah, that's an answer to that question too. Building your network.
Building your network, exactly. If it's a no, it's still a yes,
Right.
in my opinion. You know, if you've created a positive encounter.
Right.
But that depends on what time of the day it is with me. No, I'm just kidding. Where do you see our market going within the next few years?
Locally? Up.
Nothing but up.
Yep. I mean, we've been historically a little undervalued, I think, and there's still a lot of opportunity here. They're building like some $30 million San Antonio Central Park now in front of the convention center. People are moving here in droves. Still tons of houses left to remodel and flip.
Our downtown area is being transformed.
And there's still lots
I
left
mean,
to
right
be done.
behind the Alamo Dome and all that area, wow.
They're still really rough.
You see the dilapidated shacks right next to the phenomenal properties, right? And you're going,
Right.
I
don't think there's any, chance that we're gonna go down anytime soon.
I don't think so. I don't think so, unless, heaven forbid, our politicians get really stupid and we end up,
Yeah, but that wouldn't be an overnight thing. You're talking 5 years, I think we're good.
Yeah.
10, 20, 30, maybe, who knows.
Yeah. What do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? I'm big on outdoor stuff. I go walk around, bike outside a lot. I go party on the weekends with friends sometimes. We have barbecues, things like that. Go out to eat.
Okay. I was hoping you'd have something else to say besides, I do real estate and good.
That used to be my
I go
answer.
buy more houses.
That used to be my answer, but as time goes on,
It's
you
balanced,
gotta
right?
have a life too. So.
Yeah, absolutely. What advice would you give someone starting on their wholesaling journey?
Find the right person to ask about stuff and ask questions. Focus on personal development a lot. Always improve yourself and your knowledge. And like Angie said, focus on having a balanced life too.
Yeah. One of my favorite slogans is Lowe's. Never stop improving.
Oh, I didn't know that was their slogan.
Yes.
But I'm a Home Depot guy.
Never stop improving. So here's some trivia because between Home Depot and Lowe's.
Right.
Home Depot and Lowe's was a divorce. Home Depot was a divorce. Okay.
Was it? Okay.
Yes. When she divorced him, she started Lowe's. And she's never stopped improving. I'm just kidding.
Hey, I've got a Home Depot Pro card in my wallet, so.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
That is too far out to say at this point.
Really?
Like 10 years ago from today, if you had asked me what I'd be doing, I had no idea then. I had no idea 5 years ago. I had no idea 4 years ago. But here I am in real estate, so 10 years from now, hopefully still growing, learning, improving, developing, and hopefully have a heck of a lot more rental properties under my belt.
Good. And you know what? Seeing what you do on a daily, you'll be there and then some.
Awesome.
Yeah, you'll be mentoring. Here's my prognosis. He'll be mentoring a team of at least 5, and he'll be raking in the money, and he'll be going on more vacations, and he'll have a baby
More
or
vacations would be great. For sure.
A baby or two. He'll be more like Logan.
Yeah.
Fulmer.
Yeah. He's a great mentor too.
He is. He's a great guy. I love following him. All right. How can we help you grow?
I would say reach out if you have any questions in regards to getting started investing. Wholesaling coach, I'm not really a wholesaling coach, but if you have any questions as far as actually investing, I would definitely reach out and see if I can help you out in any way.
Stone, thank you so much for joining me today, joining us today.
And
we will see you at the great debate.
Sounds good.
On March 17th from 11 to 1.
Looking forward to it.
Register on the link below.
Register below.
Yes.